Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor. Updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. Brought to you by SCDHEC. Visit scdhec.gov for testing and vaccination sites. SCDHEC. Healthy people, healthy communities. In it together, SC and the South Carolina Diabetes Advisory Council presenting Wellness Wednesday every week on Coping with COVID. The City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Agape Counseling and Training Services. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, visit Agape Counseling and Training Services at agapects.com. The Comet Bus System, offering free rides to get your COVID vaccine. Don't miss your shot. Visit catchthecomet.gov. Javis Financial Services, with over 20 years of experience. Computers Unique, Dutch Square Mall. Honest, professional, reliable computer sales and service. Palmetto Media Connections, connecting media and communities together. Coping with COVID from SCDHEC. In it together, SC, the South Carolina Diabetes Advisory Council, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Agape Counseling and Training Services, the Comet Bus System, Javis Financial Services, Computers Unique, and Palmetto Media Connections.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.
Hey, thank you so much for joining us for Coping with Tre Tailor. I'm Tre Tailor, and today we are coping with survival. We are coping with freedom. We're going to talk to, in just a short, Tiffany Myers, who, and I am acting this way because this is such a good book. It's such a transformative book about just everything that people go through. It's not even about women, it's about people go through. And she was so courageous, and I told her this when we talked before the interview about just putting her life out on the line for God and everybody else to see, for somebody else to be better. So we're going to talk with Tiffany in just a short about her book, Dear Sons, Imperfect and Flawed Moms. Why? Now, here's the thing. If you're thinking this is a book about what you need to say to your sons, and you think, well, I don't have sons, I don't have kids. If you live life, this is a book that you need to read, because it's so much more than just that. We're going to get to Tiffany in just a short, but I want to remind you that scrolling at the bottom of the screen throughout the show, you'll see all types of information about COVID, where to get a vaccine, where to get tested. That's still a thing, y'all. Also, financial resources. So many people are still struggling with bills, utilities, and also mortgage and rental payments. We've got that information also scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Information about grants and opportunities, and also job opportunities. All of that stuff is scrolling at the bottom of the screen throughout the show. So please post and share so we can get the message to the masses. Coping is streaming live on the Tailor Made production page on Facebook. That's the home of Coping with COVID and Coping with Tre Tailor. Please go over there, hit like and share and follow, so that not only you can get notifications as to when we go live, 2 p.m. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but also all of your coping related updates. We're streaming live also on the YouTube channel. Please go over there and hit the subscribe button. We've been doing the show almost 3 years now, so we've got all kind of information, resources, and so many other things available for you. So please don't forget to do that. We also have a presence on Instagram and also on Twitter. We're going to talk to Tiffany Myers today, and we are coping with life. Tiffany Myers is a no-hold-back, mirror-in-your-face author, life transformation coach, speaker, motivator that utilizes her life experience, her lived experience, client-specific techniques, and her relationship with God to guide clients, friends, and family to be better and not bitter. She inspires those that she's connected to taking an active part in their personal wellness, heart, mind, and soul. And she understands everyone and everything is not her assignment. Her book is called Dear Sons, Imperfect and Flawed Moms. Why? Tiffany, first of all, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thank you for writing this book. I mean, as I said in the open, this book is so much more about a letter to your sons. This is really, because you go from 0 to 100 as far as your life and your life experiences, your ups and downs, joy and pain, in trying to me, explain maybe why the trajectory of your life went the way it went. But to me, it's also just helping people to understand, one, we all go through something. You never know what people go through, but that not only do we need to forgive ourselves,
Yes.
man, girl, we need to forgive other people so that we can live the life that God desired for us. So I just want to say
Yes.
thank you because,
Thank you.
girl, listen, I don't know that I'm ready to unveil my life like you were unveiling yours, because it's a lot. It's a lot.
It was. It was. It was a huge undertaking. I promise you it was. One of the things that the book actually did, I started the book probably about 10 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I started taking notes. I was writing things down, and in my writing things down, it wasn't time yet.
Right.
I did not write this book until after COVID.
But you started taking notes within
I started
COVID.
taking notes. I
Right.
did because I always said, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to be an author. I had no clue what it was going to be about. And
you just wanted to write a book.
Right. I knew I was going to be an author. Had no idea. I thought I was going to be the Zane type author. That's the funny thing.
Yeah.
But I had no clue that I was going to. My son asked me, he said, "Is this a tell-all book?" I said, "No, son, it's a tell some."
Well, girl, so you held some stuff.
I held a lot.
Girl.
I held a lot back. I did. What I did was, like I said, I wrote it after COVID hit, because what I wasn't doing, I had not gotten therapy. COVID, of course, made people sit down. But what happened was my sons and I, this is the basis for the book. My sons and I had sat down one day. Matter of fact, we weren't sitting. We were in the kitchen. I don't like to cook. I have a whole husband. I've got grown children. I don't like to cook.
Right.
I prefer to go out, have a nice meal, and, I'll cook sometimes. But we were in the kitchen one day. And while we were in the kitchen, my sons literally told me how they felt about how I raised them.
And it wasn't pretty?
It was not.
Oh, wow.
It was not. It made me realize some of the things that I did when I thought that I was doing the best I could based on what I knew. And my parents are great parents. I came from
and you say that in the book. You say that in the book that
yes.
you came from a very traditional, great household, went on trips, went to church, all of that.
Yes. And I was a single mother. But what had happened was
abused mother.
Single abused, traumatized mama.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I didn't realize my trauma had bled onto them.
Yeah.
So they told me how they felt after I got out of my feelings. I realized you need to get a good counselor. You need a mentor, a coach. You need a therapist. You need some deliverance in your life. Because things that I had been dealing with were piling on them, and I had no clue. So what I did, I went to therapy. I went into that session with an open mind and an open heart. And what I realized was,
because you wanted to see, here's the thing.
Yes.
You wanted to be okay. You wanted a solution.
I did.
And you, like you said, you were open to hearing what your boys were telling you. And
Yes.
I think that's the big thing with anything, with any transformation, which I think we all need a couple within our lives, is you got to want to do it. You got to want to do it. You've got to want to and recognize I can be better. I need to be better. And I want to do it. So by any means necessary, because this is not only going to help the people in my life, this is going to help me.
It's going to, and that was the thing. I wanted to really show my sons, I'm going to change, but I need you to see me go through the process.
Yeah.
Because the thing about it is, I always say my mantra is, I am that pebble in the pond, and the waves start with me. I hit that pond.
Yeah.
But the thing about, if I'm not active in it, what am I really showing my sons?
Yeah.
I'm not showing that I'm trying to heal. I'm not trying to show them I'm being better. Any of that. I'm just giving them lip service.
Yeah. But you know what, Tiffany, I have to say this because but your sons also had to be in a place mature enough to recognize, one, that you are human.
Yes.
You know, they had to be able to hear, your apology, your heartfelt apology.
Yes.
That, because here's the thing, girl, we can't do any more than we know.
We
you know,
can't.
I think it's, I don't know. I think it's Ayanna says, when we know better, we do better.
Right.
But if you don't know better, like you said, you were doing the best you could at that time.
Exactly.
Not trying to hurt anybody. But your boys had to be open enough to hear your sincerity, hear your apology, and recognize that your transformation may or may not help them.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
they already got what they got. Really.
They did.
They already
did.
Whatever happened because of what you did or didn't do, especially if they not just told you a couple of years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So even if you get well or whatever, transform, they still may have some issues because
They
now,
do.
as grown folks, they got to deal with their stuff.
Exactly. And you know what I had to do? I had to make sure I changed the narrative because a lot of times, think about, in our community, we don't like to get counseling, and we will tell our men, or our men won't go to get counseling. And I told them, if I did anything, if anyone did anything to you, get counseling. Go seek wise counsel.
Yes.
And I will say this, Trey, I am a firm believer that God does things the way he wants to in his timing.
Me too.
And I will tell anyone who speaks against and said, well, just pray about it. No, don't just pray about it. Even in the Bible and the word of God, it says, seek wise counsel.
Yes. Yeah, pray about what you want God to show you.
And be active in your wellness.
Be active. Yeah.
But they were open enough because I always had the relationship with them. I want you to be able to come and tell me any and everything, even if it hurts.
Yeah. Tiffany Myers joins us. We're talking about her book, Dear Sons, Imperfect and Flawed Moms, Why. I want to talk about a couple of things in the book because I really want people to hear some of the things that you really point out.
Yes.
So somebody else can get healed. The first thing is, even in the foreword, when you say, make sure if you are not married to your children's father or mother, and you are very clear with this is for male and female.
Definitely.
Be a part of your kid's life.
Please.
Learn how to co-parent. That's the big thing. Talk about
it. Is huge. It is huge.
Yeah.
So my sons, I looked at them whenever they were younger, and I saw the hurt and the pain that they experienced whenever they were promised something by the other parent and they didn't deliver. Your child, they don't want money. They don't want all these huge parties. They want you to be present in their life.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. If you are present, if you are there, if you're a part of those are priceless moments that they reflect. They pull on that for strength.
Right.
So that was one of that's the most important thing. And a lot of times we will use, and when I say we, I will say a parent.
Yeah.
Will use that other parent's presence as a weapon. And we're infamous for it. You know, if child this, or I can't get money, you can't see them. That is not
right. That has nothing to do with nothing.
Exactly. And the thing about it is, why is our community in a place where it is now? Because we don't have that strong foundation.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's the presence, and I have girlfriends who may be single, and I tell them, you know what? It doesn't matter. As long as he's not a threat to that child, as long as she's not a threat to that child, let them see their parent. The relationship that they form or the one that they don't form is for them to work out, not you.
Yeah.
It is not
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. You're totally right. You know, so many times, and we see this over and over again because we're mad at the other person. We,
Mhm.
you know, like you said, we use the child. So that's
We
the
do.
first thing I wanted to mention. Like I said, wanted to mention a couple of points. The other thing is you mentioned very early on, even though you had a beautiful family, you guys went to church, you went on family vacation, you grew up with both of your parents,
Right.
there were sexual abuse, not by your parents, but
Correct.
from, I guess, a
Mhm.
family friend or someone. I want to talk a little bit about, because you wrote in the book that even though in your mind you knew this was wrong,
Mhm.
your body reacted
Yes.
differently because,
Mhm.
and just have a real conversation with real
Yes.
people,
Yes.
when you are sexually stimulated, it does feel good.
You are stimulated. You are stimulated. And the funny thing about that is, it's not funny, but just rhetorically, the funny thing about it is that creates shame.
It does.
It creates fear. It creates you going inside and retreating and not
Right.
saying anything.
Because you don't understand what's
You
going
don't.
on. This is
No.
wrong, but it feels so good.
It feels amazing. And the thing about that is
girl.
that feeling, you try to hide it,
Yeah.
and then you continue to take it to other relationships.
Because it festers and it eats at you.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
you talk about in the book where you went to school because you were a teenager, I think, when you
I was
experienced,
right at 12, 13 years old.
right, which is
Mhm.
when we start feeling some things. So it's going to be
Exactly.
different if this happened to someone when they're, you know, a younger child, 3,
Right.
4, 5, or
Right.
whatever. But
Right.
you're right in that point where you're starting to recognize your body and
Right.
develop some things. So,
Mhm.
you know, you talked about you went to school and you felt like you were different. You felt like people saw you differently. Like,
I did. I
yeah,
did. I felt like I sat in the classroom that day and I felt like they saw what I
they
did.
see, yeah,
They knew it.
yeah,
They could see me differently because I felt different. I knew something was wrong. I knew that, but in my 12-year-old pubescent self, it felt a little good, but I'm not supposed to feel this.
but I'm not going to feel it right.
And on top of that, it was a family member.
Yeah, yeah, yes.
So I know that this is not right, but who do I tell? How do I tell? And in my 12-year-old grown mind, if I don't tell anybody, it'll just go away.
It'll just, yeah, yeah.
And it didn't.
Yeah. So
It did not.
I wanted to, and again, I just want to make some points in the book so somebody will, because like I said, there's so much good stuff in this book. You know, I think it should be dear everybody, not just dear sons. Really, girl, I told you before this, I was like, oh, we got to do the interview. Let me stop because this was such a good book. But if so, here's the thing, and you tell me, as a youth, what do you say to your 12-year-old self now?
Mhm.
And what do you say as an adult to adults who, I mean, and you don't know what's going on, but what should, again, if a child is hearing this interview, or a young person
Mhm.
who is experiencing this, and or a parent or an adult that may have a young person in their home,
Mhm.
what do they need to do based on your experience, your lived experience?
Tell the adult you trust.
Yeah. And whoever that might be.
Whoever that might be, tell the adult that you trust. So in my experience, you do have parents who are not going to believe you or do anything about it.
Yeah.
But you have that one adult. You have that one adult who will go to war for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell that one adult, because baby, you don't have the capacity to handle it.
To handle it. Yeah.
And you have to, the show is called Coping.
Yes.
You have to cope.
You gotta
You
cope.
have to confront it, and you have to put it out there out loud so that you don't continue to either, one, live a lie, two, live in that shame, three, feel like you're rejected because you're rejecting yourself, and three, forgive yourself so that you can be free of that pain.
Yeah. Yeah, because everything from that point on affects everything else.
Oh my God.
It affects
Yeah.
how you look at yourself. So when you don't look at yourself in a positive way, everything else, who you associate with, what choices you make,
Yes.
everything is affected because you don't have a good self feeling about yourself.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
so huge, girl. And I'll tell you, and I'll say, I mean, I struggled with that for years because I was just a little different, and I couldn't, I just didn't have a good self-esteem. This ain't about me, this is about you. But I knew girl, I related to that piece. So yeah, so that was the other thing. And in reference to that, it did affect your choice.
It did.
Your choices in men, boyfriends,
Yes,
which ended up in not only you having 2 children out of wedlock, you left school early.
I did.
And ended up going into a physical abuse situation with the children's father. Let's talk about that. How that affected all of those decisions.
Listen, so of course I left what would be deemed in a high school setting a healthy relationship and went into, let's just talk, it is what it is. It was a very perverse relationship. So, and it was toxic, but I just swept it under the rug. And in doing that, I let things go because there were things, he had habits that I shouldn't have been mixed up in.
You knew it was wrong. But
yeah, I knew it was wrong. I knew it was wrong. Whether it was, oh, you're sleeping with my cousin. What? I don't even like your cousin like that. We barely speak. What are you talking about? To dabbling and playing around with, I'm really, really transparent. Playing around with weed and then having laced joints. You know, and that put me in a headspace. I was like, hold on, I cannot do this.
Tiffany, let me ask you, during this time, were your parents saying to you, this is the wrong boy?
Of course.
Yeah, but you weren't listening.
Of course not. Of course, because you know what? Whenever you're 20, 23, 24, you're doing what you want to do. You feel like you're grown. No one can tell you anything. You have all the answers to life and everybody else is wrong.
Yeah.
That's what we do. And that was what I was doing. And then I was, of course, being rebellious because I had already put up a wall because of the rape whenever I was a child.
Yeah.
And they don't understand it because they never went through it. But I never gave them the opportunity to help me because I didn't tell them.
Yeah, Tiffany Myers joins us. She is talking about her book, Dear Sons, Imperfect and Flawed Mom's Why. It's a book really about her life. There's so many lessons that are in this book, but this is a book that she wrote to her sons to help them understand some of the choices that she made as a parent. And we're talking to her today about some of the points in the book that, you know, we wanted to bring out. Because like I said, it's so much more than just a letter to your sons. It is such a great book, Tiffany, I think, to just help people go through and process what they've been through in life.
Yes.
I want to talk a little bit about, the response for children out of wedlock. You know, people, as people do, you know, really gave it to you, so to speak. Family, friends, church members.
Yes.
Chastised you, made you feel bad, ridiculed you because you have these boys.
Yes. Yes.
We've got to be sensitive about what we say to people.
Right. And I'm not as delivered.
I know that's right, girl.
So my fight game was like,
like what?
Really, yeah, because the thing about it, you don't ever know where a person is.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, let's unfold a little bit of church hurt, or, you know, you have people who say that they're Christian and they should walk in love, but the things that they say are not loving. And as a young mother who was dealing with 2 sons out of wedlock, but also dealing with suicidal thoughts, and who was also at a point where she was a size 0. You know, hearing someone saying who's going to want her, or who's going to want to talk to her, or what kind of husband she's thinking that she's going to get, that takes you down a road. Like I said, now I got mad. I got hot.
Yeah.
I got real hot real quick.
But you know what? Underneath, it hurt because you were already in a fragile place in the first place. Because Tiffany today, and even Trey today, you can say what you want to say about me, because I don't give a, you know, how. But Tiffany and Trey at 20 whatever years old, having gone through all of this, haven't processed any of it. You know, I'm hurt. That's why you can make me mad.
Exactly. Not only am I hurt, I want to fight anyway, because I didn't get to fight in this fight that I had to get out of, you know, with the children's dad. You don't even know that part of the story, but you're talking about me. And then you're looking at me saying, what other man is going to want her? This is a old church lady now. Somebody laughed at that line where I said, bless her deceased self.
Yeah.
But it hurts.
Yeah. And, you know, church hurt is a big thing. And we've heard a lot about it of late. But it's real. And those of us who are churched and say we love the Lord, we have just got to be more conscientious about how we look at people, how we approach people, what we say.
Yes.
Because if the church, listen, everybody in church, it's a hospital, so everybody's broken, you know. So we should be more loving, more giving, more caring, more compassionate. You know, when people come, be glad that they're in the church.
Be glad that they came, because that was what I was looking for at that particular time. That my grandmother just embraced me, and that's what I was expecting from the quote unquote mothers of the church. To just, I didn't want you to give me anything. I just needed a hug. I just needed love. You know, and that's the thing, you know, we find ourselves, that's why a lot of people won't say what's wrong with them, because they don't feel like they will be received with love. That was one of the big reasons that I never, ever even spoke up, because how is my family, even though my family is loving, how are they going to receive this? You know, so we do, even, and this is to anyone, even if you're on the streets and you encounter somebody, sometimes your smile, your hello, or how are you doing, or it's an amazing day, that may change someone's thought process. Because they feel your love. They feel that you actually care. And whenever you have somebody who comes to you and they can tell that you don't care, you can really send them over the edge.
You can.
Because nobody knew that I was struggling to the point where one night, when I say I prayed one night so hard, I prayed that depression off of me, because I said, why am I here? But I also in my mind said, who is going to raise my boys like I'm going to raise my boys? And that was the only thing that kept me here.
I hear you.
You know, so you never know if a person, and some people don't have that one thing that they feel will keep them here. And everybody doesn't have a prayer life. But I'm here for a reason. So that's why I'm so transparent in this story. That's why I'm so transparent and free to tell my why.
Tiffany Myers is here. We are talking about her book, Dear Sons. You talk now, and I again encourage everyone to get the book, because there's so many more points that Tiffany makes in this particular book. Wherever you are in your walk of life, I think you can read it and relate to it and get something out of it. That's why I think this is such a transformative book for so many people. How can people get the book, Tiffany, if they're interested in reading it? And I suggest that they do.
Yes, you can go to Amazon. You're on Prime. I'm on Prime. So if they go to put in that search bar, Dear Sons, Imperfect and Flawed Moms, Why? And this is what the book looks like in case anyone wants to see it.
Right.
This is the book. You can get it on Amazon, or you can go to my website. And my website is www.b as in boy, vision, VISION consulting.com. And that is my website. Of course, I am a coach, a transformation coach. You can book me if you want me to speak as well, but you can go there to get the book also, and it's under book info.
All right. You can see all of the information on the screen for Tiffany and the book,
Yes.
Dear Sons, Imperfect and Flawed Moms, Why? Before we go, can you give maybe one tip that you realized or want to share for moms who want to resolve some issues with their children? And I think that's many moms. I mean, I'm sitting here, just kind of thinking about the relationship with my adult son, and it's been challenging at times. And anything you want to share that you think moms need to hear?
Yes, I will say be open. Be open and be honest, because your children see you. They see you for exactly who you are, but that openness allows you to process healing. That openness not only allows your healing, but it allows them to heal as well. And it also allows you to gain a closeness with your children that you've never experienced before, because we always put up walls.
Right. And Tiffany, if you don't mind, I'll also add, it helps you too.
Yes.
It helps you
Yes.
too. And we have got to remember, we can't help anybody else until we are healed ourselves. So
Yes.
I would just suggest, and I'm in counseling. I've been in counseling. I don't miss my counseling.
I know that's right.
Every month I do it, just, and you're right. As I hope one of the things that COVID has done has lessened the stigmatism
Yes.
for counseling, because I've heard a lot of counselors say they're seeing more people.
Yes.
It doesn't mean anything's wrong with you. It's just someone who maybe has an ear that they can hear and listen and help you strategize with things,
Right.
just to get it off your chest. And that's important. That's important. Somebody that can see a different perspective. And I think that is so important for everyone. So yes, like Tiffany said, be open and honest with your children, but be open and honest with yourself.
Yes.
First, and get what you need. Get what you need. If you need counseling, get you some counseling. If you need a pedi and a mani and a massage, get you that too.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean, and I saw you said that, but that doesn't mean anything's, you're being selfish. You're being selfless. You need to get what you need to get what you need to get, so that you can be better for other people.
Yes. Unpack it.
Yeah.
Unpack it.
Unpack
on a
it.
plane, they tell you to put your oxygen on first.
Yes.
Put it on first. And you know what? It's time for, I say it in the book, I've got t-shirts. It's time for us to be better and not bitter.
Yeah. Because that does nothing but ruin your life. God, it's time for you to get the life you desire and deserve.
Yes.
And it starts with you taking care of you. And then, as Tiffany said, then you can take care of someone else. Tiffany, thank you so much, not only for writing the book, but for joining us today, and just for sharing, just being open and honest to share the good and bad, the pain and pleasure, the joy and pain that has been your life. And congratulations on being courageous enough to go through the work, because it takes work.
Yes,
it takes work, but the end result is beautiful. And you are that inside and out. Thank you, Tiffany. Don't forget about the book, Dear Sons, Imperfect and Flawed Moms, Why? It's on Amazon and on her website. The information is on the screen. We'll be right back with more Coping with Tre Tailor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Carolyn Sawyer, an entrepreneur and caregiver. Part of taking care of your health is knowing if you're at risk of type 2 diabetes. Prediabetes is serious and puts you at risk for developing type 2 diabetes. Up to 90% of South Carolinians who have it don't know they have it. Visit inittogethersc.org. Take an online test to find out your risk and join a diabetes prevention program. This message brought to you by the Diabetes Action Council of SC.
The Comet gives me a reliable source of transportation.
It's very convenient to me, and they have wonderful drivers.
It's clean and it builds community. It's fun to meet people.
It makes me feel like really independent. It's just fun.
It's always going to be there and it gets me everywhere I need to go.
We try to ride every single day. Comedy is our livelihood.
Computers, they're a part of our everyday life. But when they're not working, they're an everyday problem. So call Computers Unique, your everyday solution. 803-351-5821. Is your computer running slow? Won't turn on? Do you need a screen replaced? Or maybe you just need another computer? Well, Computers Unique is your one-stop shop for all your computer needs. They have a wide variety of new and pre-owned PCs, Macs, and tablets. So call Computers Unique, Dutch Square Mall. 803-351-5821. 803-351-5821.
Thank you so much for joining us for Coping with Tre Tailor. If you have a product or service that could help someone cope with COVID, please email copingwithtretailer@gmail.com. We would love for you to be a proud sponsor, just like In It Together SC and the Diabetes Action Council. They sponsor Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday here on Coping with COVID. Javis Tax Services, Palmetto Media Connections, the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office, Attorney Byron Gibson, Agape Counseling and Training Services, Black Pages, Black Expo, the Comet Bus System, and Computers Unique, Dutch Square Mall. We also would love for you to be a guest on the show. If you have a story or initiative that could help someone cope with COVID, please email booking@copingwithtretailer.com. Booking@copingwithtretailer.com. That information is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. We would love to feature you on the show because we're always coping with something. As always, we leave you with a great devotional. I'm reading back again from Jesus Calling. This says, when things seem to be going all wrong, stop and affirm your trust in me. Calmly bring these matters to me and leave them in my capable hands. Leave them there. Then simply do the next thing. Stay in touch with me through thankful, trusting prayers, resting in my sovereign control. Rejoice in me. Exult in the God of your salvation. As you trust in me, I make your feet like the feet of a deer. I enable you to walk, to make progress upon your high places of trouble, suffering, or responsibility. When things are going wrong, remember what is right. Jesus, he can do it for you. Thank you guys so much for joining us today for Coping with Tre Tailor. Until the next time, I wish you peace and abundant blessings. Take care, stay well, God bless. And if you're going to be out and about with large crowds, especially inside, don't forget to wear your mask over your nose and under your chin. I'll see you soon.
Coping, find peace of mind to survive through whatever. Coping, learning the way that we thrive all together. Coping, finding out what's real. Coping, we can heal, we can heal, we can heal. Coping with stress, coping with strife, bringing hope for success, for improving our life. Coping beyond hoping to do more than survive. Ways to live a healthy life. Coping and promoting, learning what you can do. 6 ways to a better you.